menopausal transformation. We are too repulsed by our own aging to notice the gifts it can bring. We fear the existence of menopause and deny our own cyclical wisdom. Why? Because almost everything about our society is geared to disconnect us from any kind of cyclical wisdom. The lords of profit to whom we are enslaved by the corporations for whom many of us work do not want us to access our own wisdom. The rhythmic cycles of menstruation, pregnancies, and menopause disrupt the structures of capitalist economies. And so we are taught to deny that we are cyclical beings, to behave like men, to denigrate our most intimate and precious intuitions and insights. And since our mutable and cyclical nature cannot be entirely eradicated, we are taught to be ashamed of it, ashamed of our blood, ashamed of our wrinkles, ashamed of our white hairs, ashamed of our intuition. Menstrual shame leads to sexual shame, which leads to profound disconnection and disempowerment, all of which leads to menopausal suffering at every level of being. And yet, despite all the bad press and the attempts to distract, delude, and disempower us, we still find ourselves stumbling towards freedom. We are in the company of an extraordinary demographic. For there are more menopausal women alive on this planet now than at any previous point in human history. And so we can be guided by the voices of those who are not ashamed, of those who celebrate the magnificence of this challenge to grow down into ourselves. The brave voices of women such as Kate, who have travelled through menopause with dignity, self-awareness, and humour. These voices call us to honour our own journeys and to call us to honour ourselves. The process of menopause, through which I am travelling still, is the most powerful initiation of my life. And it is the voices of my sisters that have helped me to recognise this. At 54, I was only part way through my first year with no bleeds when Kate sent me a draft of this book. I was uplifted and inspired by what she shares in these pages, and so I agreed to write this forward. But it took me months and months because I was journeying through the terrain of menopause and everything looked different, and deadlines somehow didn't mean the same to me anymore. There was always something else calling my attention, and my journey into transformative surrender was deep and complete. As the days since my last period turned into 3-digit numbers, I launched a campaign to eradicate the abuse of women in yoga. As the days since my last period reached over 200, I followed Kate's advice about taking a menopausal gap year, and I retreated to the far west of Ireland. I hid out on the wild coast of Clare to work on finishing a book I have been writing for the past 7 years. The process of writing this book, which I still have not finished, is the calendar of my menopause, the journey still incomplete. I am still a traveller on the menopausal journey, as I have been for the past 7 years. The territory of menopause is vast, and each one of us has her own unique journey to make. Kate has many wise counsels and hilarious observations to make about the process of travelling in this terrain. She is a generous and curious companion, open to all that can arise. The tips she offers and the stages she describes are not set in stone, and each one of us can take wisdom from the patterns Kate describes. We can also be open to the surprises that unfold along.